Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Farooq Hassan is back with a brand new episode of Sky is the Limit. We all try and strive to make our lives better. And then there are those who try and strive to make others' lives better and convenient. Some people are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have actually greatness thrust upon themselves. Today I am present at the Akhuwat University, which is one of the most brilliant campuses, educational campuses in Pakistan. I'm slightly out of Lahore, in Kasur. So what is Akhuwat Foundation? What is Akhuwat? What is Akhuwat University? We'll talk all about that in today's episode. I'm going to introduce you to one of my mentors, a person who has been instrumental in touching the lives of many people in Pakistan. He is a Nobel Award nominee, Nobel Peace Award nominee for 2022. He is also the recipient of Sitara Imtiaz. I'm talking about none other than Dr. Amjad Saqib. Dr. Amjad Saqib graduated as a medical doctor. He did his MBBS from King Edward Medical College, then joined government service after doing CSS. He had a very successful career. What made him change that? What made him come into social service? What was the inspiration? We're going to talk all about that. I'm so honored to be here. Such a lovely campus. I've seen the classrooms, the hostels. It's a pleasure to study here. And above all, the best thing is that education is totally free here. The admission criteria is based totally on merit. So let me introduce Akhuwat University to you, and let's hear it from Dr. Amjad Saqib. So we have the man himself, Dr. Amjad Saqib, with us, and we're going to talk about Akhuwat, the concept, what made it possible, from Dr. Amjad Saqib himself. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Sir.
Ji, walaikum salam. Thank you very much, sir, for coming.
Pleasure, sir.
All the way.
It's always an honor. You are like a mentor to me and such a big inspiration for so many Pakistanis all across. And first of all, let me admit and acknowledge that it was so heartening for me to come here this morning and see this by myself, this Akhuwat University, the school, the college that you've made. And I've interviewed a couple of students also. It was heartening. Like, it's a totally free of cost facility, uniforms provided for, hostel is free, education level and the standard, the way your students were confident, they were talking, I was so impressed. Doctor, how did this come into, because I always thought that you were the pioneer in microfinance. How did the move from microfinance to this education sector begin?
So let me first thank you, and I'm extremely feel privileged that you came all the way. And that was the reason when we talked about this interview, I requested you that please arrange this interview in our campus, because that will give you the true feeling. So education, how we shifted our focus to education as well. We started with a vision of a society where everybody has an opportunity to move ahead, a poverty-free society. So we started giving small loans, interest-free loans to the poor people so that they can harness their potential and work hard and do some entrepreneurial activity and then come out of poverty.
Fair enough.
So that was, alhamdulillah, big success. The biggest deviation from the conventional microfinance was that we said that we will not charge interest.
Interest-free,
yeah,
totally.
It is absolutely interest-free. So we, as a Muslim, I believe that interest is forbidden, and not only as a Muslim, but if you are a secular, even then you will come to this conclusion that this is against the principles of equity and compassion, that we charge 40%, 50%, 70%. So that was the beginning.
Fair enough.
But after 10 years, we thought that this is just a starting point.
The microfinance platform is just a starting point.
Because it provides you something to have, something to, food at the end of the day. It gives you roof, it gives you some social security, but the true mobilization from the lower echelons to the upwards, that is in education.
Right.
True salvation of a nation is in education.
Right.
The difference between us and them, that means we and the rest of the world, is education. We are not, deficient in anything. We are beautiful, we are intelligent, we
have all the potential.
All the potential. But the point is that we don't have education. That has resulted in intolerance, that has resulted in poverty, that has resulted in absence of peace.
And staggered progress also of Pakistan. Yeah.
So then another idea came that the rich people's sons and daughters can access high education.
Yeah.
But how a poor boy who has potential, how will he be able to study in an educational institution where 1 million is the fee? So we started thinking that if loan could be without interest, education could also be without fee.
Okay.
So we said that, look, others say that deposit 1 million and go to the school classroom, and we will say that go to the classroom and pay this 1 million after 10 years.
So it's like an education loan. Like in the West that you have, that a student can take a student loan and then repay when he gets a job.
But here we don't call it, we don't get any signatures, any documents, this is just a trust.
Okay, it's a verbal commitment.
Verbal commitment. Let me give you an example. I educate my son and my daughter, and I don't take any fee.
Absolutely.
I give them this education, I invest them on them, because I think that in my old age, they will become a source of strength and support for me. So this is a mechanism where the society has adopted these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students and sponsoring their education with this expectation that when they will grow, they will reciprocate, they will strengthen the society. And no father has ever taken a bond or
in writing
debit from a son or daughter.
It's a moral obligation.
It's a trust. It's faith.
Yeah.
So that is how we are creating a new world, a world of trust, faith, and our inner compulsion and commitment to reciprocate.
Fair enough. That's an amazing concept. But tell me, okay, it's very good to dream and to dream big, and that's what we inculcate in our youth. But a concept and putting life in that concept are two different things. This university, the premises, faculty, the kind of courses you're offering, the kind of students you have is comparable to any world-class university. I myself have studied from IBA, and I remember when I went to IBA, now it's very well developed, but when I went to IBA, it was exactly like this. In fact, your premises is better. I was asking the students about the hostel and all. They are absolutely mind-blowing. So how did it become possible? Because you just had a dream. How did you actually put it, the way it is right now?
Many years ago, around maybe 2.5 decades ago, I went to United States for studies. I was there in a development degree pursuing there.
Okay.
So I took a course on leadership. I went to my professor and asked him, what is leadership? So he said that you will be knowing about leadership after this semester. But I said, no, please tell me now.
And you have to do the course first and then you'll know about leadership.
So he said, leaders don't do anything. Leaders do only two things. Number one, they have a vision. And number two, they dedicate their life to actualize that vision.
Wow.
These are the two things.
Awesome.
First of all, you must have a vision. You must dream.
Yeah.
And vision is a destination where you want to go, an ideal state of affair. And then if you only dream and don't dedicate your life to achieve that dream, so that is useless. So for dedication, commitment, and doing nothing else, if you allow me to say in my own language, national language, this is ishq.
Selfless passion.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, absolute forgetting anything else except your mission.
Devotion, dedication, extreme.
So we had a dream, and then we mean many my friends. We totally, decided to dedicate, and the result is obviously from Allah Almighty. Your responsibility, my responsibility is to dream and work hard. So the consequence, the results, the outcome is in front of you. This place was a jungle. This was like
totally deserted.
Absolutely deserted.
Outskirts
And
of
now,
Lahore and beginning of Kasur
52
actually.
acres of land and more than 300,000 square feet covered area, and around 2 billion rupees we have spent on it.
You bought this land?
Who bought this? This 2 billion rupees, not a single penny from state.
Okay.
This is the power of community.
All donations?
All donations. We started, in fact, a movement that buy a brick and build a university.
Buy a brick and build a university.
Yeah.
And how much was the brick for?
1,000.
1,000 rupees per brick.
Per brick.
Okay.
So this was a notional
Fair enough.
slogan. So in first stage, in 8 months, we raised 500. We sold 500 bricks and raised 50 crore rupees.
Wow.
500 million rupees.
People have faith in
some purchased one brick, some 10, some 20, some 100, depending on your resources. So this is, and we have a wall of founders over here, and so far 20,000 names have been written on that wall.
Oh wow! Yeah, I saw that wall. Okay.
Anybody who gives, takes one brick, his name is printed there,
and permanently it will
it will be affixed there, and maybe after 50 years, 100 years, his grandson, granddaughter comes and sees, oh, my father was the part of a great movement to build a university where there will be no fee charged from the students, and they will become leaders, and this is the miracle. So that is how we.
So you gathered funds, and then obviously you hired professionals to make this building. Then what about the transparency, the merit criteria and all? How did the board come up with that?
Building construction is one thing.
Yeah.
But that is, the hardware.
Yeah.
But real software is faculty and students.
Yeah.
Curriculum.
Yeah.
What we teach them.
Yeah.
So we hired best people. Our principal, we hired it from him from New Zealand.
Wow.
So we don't want.
He's a resident here.
He's a resident here. He's our senior principal.
Wow. Awesome.
And he is a Sufi saint.
Wow.
Though he is a New Zealander, but he lives here. And then we, identified a good bunch of people, not only educated but having missionary spirit. Because this kind of a job can't be accomplished.
It's
only
passion.
through education. It is a passion.
It's a passion.
It is self-denial.
Yeah.
It is complete devotion.
Yeah.
So good faculty and then students. We decided that it will be a national institution.
Okay.
So we decided that it will be a residential institution because education without training is meaningless.
Fair enough.
So we have 20% students from each province.
Wow. Okay.
From tribal areas, from Gilgit-Baltistan and from Azad Kashmir.
Okay.
So all students live here. This is a residential place as well.
And all selected on total merit.
All selected on total merit. And the merit criterion is income of less than 40,000 rupees. And
household income of less than 40,000. Okay.
Income. And then best results in matriculate and FA.
Okay.
Those who study FA-FSC and those who study a 4-year undergrad program.
Okay.
So still we are in the process of getting the status of a university. We are affiliated with Punjab University. It's a college as yet.
Okay.
It's a graduate college.
Okay.
But we have applied for and.
But it's called akhuwat University.
Because in the beginning we said that we will build a university where there will be no fee, food and lodging and boarding and uniform, everything will be free.
Yeah.
The students will, get education today and return tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we will make a university. So it is popularly known, but soon it will attain the status of
university. Great. Dr. Saqib, so tell me, okay, so you had a dream, you implemented it, you put the brick and mortar together, then you brought in the software and you had the first batch and everything is picture perfect. Awesome. But what about the sustainability part? It's a big mission and I'm sure there's a lot of cost associated. You are hiring the best teachers, you are giving uniforms to your students, the electricity bill, there's so many maintenance, operational expenses. Where does that come from?
So let me repeat a very famous quotation that resources follow passion.
Okay, resources follow passion. Okay, I will remember that.
If you are passionate enough, you will get the resources, number one. Number two, there is no scarcity of people who want to invest in education. And they are thinking beyond their own sons and daughters, and they want to invest in the education of the brilliant people who are unable to pay. Number two. Number three, we have to gather resources only for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. After that, this alumni, these students
will start paying back. And you're building your basis on this fact.
Yes, our thesis is that it will be a reciprocity of economy, reciprocity of love, compassion, giving back. Somebody said to me that one of your students doesn't pay back this fee after 10 years. What will you do? I told him that if he doesn't pay back, the mistake is not with him. I should be punished. But I have taught him during those 4 years.
Is not working.
Is not working. So I will hold myself responsible if he or she gets education from here and doesn't have the same level of compassion and desire to give back when he is earning a lot. So we have firm faith that after 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, if a father has 30,000 sons and daughters, will he be ever poor? So this university will have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 students, and they will pay back. They will,
Inshallah.
They will not only sustain this university, they will create similar institutions elsewhere.
Dr. Sahib, I could see that pride and passion in the eyes of those students who graduated from here. I've had the honor of interviewing them, and it was amazing. You mentioned a very good thing that you went to States and you did this course on leadership. One thing I know about leadership is that a leader's role is not to create followers, it is to create more leaders. Right?
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what you are doing.
Leader's role is empower others.
Empower others, create more leaders.
Your legacy will die with you if you don't transfer your vision to others.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell me one thing, Dr. Sahib, we will talk about your personal, how it all started and all, but I know you've been part of the bureaucracy also, you've served in the government also. Did it ever occur to you that obviously the kind of footprint or the scale or the mass that government has, obviously an individual or an organization cannot have that. So did it ever occur to you that, okay, could it be a public-private partnership and maybe you can get more resources, get a better land, get more facilities, replicate this model easily? Did it ever occur to you, or did you work on that?
Yeah. Obviously, the role of a civil society organization is to create a model.
Yeah.
And that model will be upscaled only in collaboration with private sector or public sector.
Fair enough.
So we are obviously very keen to have a close liaison and a relationship with the public institutions, with state. So our microfinance program, there we have got tremendous support from governments, all governments. They studied our model and they started similar model and outsourced its implementation to akhuwat. So that's how it has grown. Similarly here, this is an island of virtue. This university, obviously we can't educate the entire youth of Pakistan.
Fair enough.
But we would like government to,
participate or come forward and support you and replicate this model.
And there are many of Bill Gates in Pakistan.
I know.
I'm pointing out towards those section of society. At least I can count more than 1,000 billionaires in Pakistan.
Wow.
So if every billionaire builds a university, and there are only 200 public universities in Pakistan, by the way.
Yeah.
So the billionaires of Pakistan can build 5 times more universities.
Yeah.
And when you will, give them education with the same spirit, with the same pride, and with the same, lesson that now today I am establishing a bond of love with you. Tomorrow you will establish the same bond with somebody else. So where are the Bill Gates of Pakistan? Through you, I am asking this question from the whole of society. Where are those bureaucrats? Where are those judges? Where are those generals? Who rose from
humble beginnings.
Humble beginning. And God has been kind to them.
Yes.
So if not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they join hands, they can build an institution.
They can build an institution.
So this is how the whole akhuwat paradigm is built on giving.
Great. A very pertinent question, Dr. Sahib, I need to ask you after the break, and that is that living in our society, it's very common, like we recommend each other, as in our language we call sifarish, How do you manage to keep that at bay when you have an open merit competition and transparency policy? We'll ask you that after the break. We'll take a quick break. Don't go away. Dr. Amjad Saqib is here with us. Stay tuned. Yes, Dr. Sahib, we are back after the break. Dr. Sahib, how do you manage to sustain the pressures coming from influential circles of the society, which is very common in our, like culture also? How do you manage to do that?
Yeah, very difficult, but initially.
Okay.
In the first years, we had tremendous pressure that give loan to this one, give loan to this one, give loan to this one.
Give admission to this one, or keep this kid with you.
Admission came later on, but we, in the initial 10 years, give employment, transfer this man to other. We are a civil society organization. We are not taking any money from government. But still, we were under pressure that he is my constituency person, he should be posted there. So we decided that nothing doing. We will not do anything which is wrong, anything which is against principles, anything which compromises our integrity and respect.
That must have made you a lot of enemies also.
Yeah, sure. In the initially, people were not very happy. But let me tell you that integrity is correspondence between words and deeds. Once you start doing this, a time will come, people will respect you. And within 2 to 3 years, people stopped asking us.
They knew that it's not going to have any impact.
But we were not very rude. We were not arrogant. We just told them that, look, if we will do this, it will open the floodgate of corruption. And we will not, be able to grow and make this experiment, worthy of emulation.
Fair enough.
So people understand. So one thing I would like to make it very point clear, that if you are steadfast, if you have complete faith in your own, if your conviction, and if you explain people, if you engage people, if you tell people that this is our principle, people will understand. So most of the times, you start preaching that you are something extraordinary, and you are here to make friends.
Yes, absolutely.
You are here to convey a message of love.
Yes.
So and then of course Allah Almighty, we were doing nothing wrong. And truth is as its own power.
And whenever you do a good deed, Allah Ta'ala puts barakah in that, and obviously. So, Dr. Sahib, any plans of, immediate plans or near future plans of making replicating this model, making another university or a school or a college?
We will not make another university. We will grow this university.
Okay.
If there are 1,000 students, it may be 2,000, it may be 4,000, it may be 10,000.
Okay.
We have 50 acres of land, and we are planning to expand it to 100 acres.
Okay.
This will be our boys' campus, and there will be a separate campus for the girls.
Okay.
So there will be only 2 campuses.
Right.
The point here is that it is a residential institution, so it doesn't matter, makes a difference whether it is in Lahore or Karachi or Peshawar, because 20% students come from every province.
Fair enough.
So it will represent the entire people from Sui, from Dera Bukti, from
It's a mini Pakistan.
Absolutely.
It's a mini Pakistan. Great. Okay, so now I would like to talk about the pioneering stuff in microfinance. Dr. Saab, when you ventured into that, there was no concept of interest-free smaller loan for farmers or for people who want to start a business. And absolutely, as you mentioned, we have humongous potential here in Pakistan. And so many people want to get into cottage industry or want to do their own stuff, but due to lack of capital, they are not able to do that. They need some kind of support which they look forward to from any source, whether it be government or any private organization or a bank for that matter. But going a step ahead and making it interest free and assuring them that, you know, we are there with you, you start your project, you do a startup, and once it succeeds you start paying back, and we trust you that you will pay back. That was a new concept
Absolutely
in
new.
Pakistan. It was never there. And yes, we've had examples in Southeast Asia, within Bangladesh, Dr. Yunus and Grameen Bank and all that stuff. But in Pakistan it was unheard of because none of the banks was doing it. But you started it and you did it very successfully. What was the inspiration behind starting that, and what was the factor which differentiated it and made it into a success?
You know, let me narrate you a little story, anecdote. A lady came to me, she said that I'm poor, I'm a widow, I have 4 children, nothing to eat, but I don't want to beg. I need a loan, but I don't want to pay interest on that loan. So I was a little bit surprised that she is not begging any money and she is asking for loan and without interest loan. So she said very innocently that if your sister asks 10,000 rupees from you as a loan,
Will you not give it to her?
will you not give it to her, number one, and will you take 11,000?
Huh.
I said, no, I will
No.
give her 10,000.
Absolutely.
So said, this is Qarz-e Hasan.
And no written commitment also
Yes.
that you will be paying me back.
So this is Qarz-e Hasan, this is benevolent loan. So why don't you consider me as your brother, your sister?
Mm. And you didn't know that lady from Adams?
No, I didn't know.
Okay.
So then we started thinking that if we have a pool of money who is given by people who are haves, and there is somebody, an institution who becomes the custodian of that pool of money and then start giving this money to have-nots, just on the same principle of brotherhood or sisterhood, without taking any loan. When we, further studied, we came to know that Qarz-e Hasan is the prevalent practice in every society. It has nothing to do with religion only. So we haven't done anything new. We just institutionalized the individual practice of Qarz-e Hasan.
Okay.
And then we got strength from our Islamic principles that loan should be without interest, and giving loan is better than giving charity.
Yes.
So this is amalgamation of your own culture, your own principles, your own faith, and your own, just see a simple idea coming from an uneducated lady, that if your sister asks money, your brother asks
That's so
money,
true.
if your friend asks money, will you get interest on that? So if, for example, if your friend, one of your friends in your class asks 10,000, 20,000,
We just give it like that
give
without
it
even
that.
thinking.
yeah,
And we
you
don't
will
even
just see one thing, that is he having a
a
good
genuine
reputation?
cause,
A
a genuine cause
yes.
to, yeah.
And why will he pay back?
Because probably, this is his time of need.
No, he will pay back because he knows that he will lose the credibility
if he doesn't pay back. Yeah, fair
and
enough.
nobody will.
And he
trust
look
him.
bad in
So this is called social collateral. He has, social collateral, his social capital, that is the collateral.
fair enough. But for such microfinance loans as we do in banks, there are two basic principles of lending. One is the willingness to pay back, and the second is ability to pay back, right? These are two factors you see when you extend credit, and I'm sure you do the same. But for such smaller loans, is it possible to do a credit check or a financial checkup of that person you're extending a loan to of about 20,000?
We call it a social appraisal.
Okay.
We go to the person's home, his place of business, we check his credentials, we ask people whether he is a drug addict, whether he is a criminal, what kind of a character does he enjoy. So we evaluate his social credentials.
And then you decide whether you want to,
Number one.
and how much
Number
amount.
two, in banking, the most important thing is project appraisal.
Yes.
Whether this is a
Feasible project or not.
We put less emphasis on project appraisal, put more emphasis on person appraisal. If you find a right person, despite his inability to pay, his willingness to pay, if he is there, he will pay.
Okay. Okay.
Today or tomorrow, he will pay back.
Okay.
You must be sure of his credibility, his hard work, his own creativity and entrepreneurial skill. When we give the loan, for example, 50,000 rupees loan, so he returns it. He knows that this one-time loan is not enough for him. He will need
it again.
70,000, 100,000.
So he needs to build up his credibility.
So he is economically very rational. So he doesn't want to lose that opportunity.
Not a one-time opportunity.
So, like a good businessman, he will continue to do business, pay back, get more money, pay back, get more money.
And this is the history that you've been facing since you've started.
Absolutely.
How much loan portfolio do you have at the moment for akhuwat?
We have disbursed more than 200 billion rupees, which is around 1,000 million US dollars. And
1,000 million US dollars?
Oh, yeah. We have more than 5 million borrowers, and our recovery
All across Pakistan?
All across Pakistan, 400 cities of Pakistan, every province, even in tribal districts, in Gilgit, in Azad Kashmir, in Balochistan, far-flung areas.
And what's the infection rate if I...
99.9% is our recovery percentage.
99.9%
is the recovery percentage.
So your investment is totally intact.
Absolutely. So this is the reason why we are going, because the money we are giving is coming back, and every day a new donor like you comes in and gives and donates something in that pool of money.
Yeah. Okay.
In the beginning there were two assumptions. There are people who want to give, and there are people who are not thieves. If they are given money, they will return it.
Yes.
So now, after 20 years, these assumptions have proven to be universal truth.
Okay.
Because you started a program with few $100, we have few thousand rupees, which has reached 200 billion rupees.
That's
so it proves both things, that people are there to give, and people who get it for their business.
Yeah.
They are trustworthy, they are creditworthy, they are honest.
And they're building a history also. So tell me, Dr. Sahib, this is something which globally the world is moving towards, which is like financial inclusion. That's the buzzword,
That's
right?
Absolutely.
And you are a big catalyst and probably one of the pioneers in doing this. So aren't you getting any sustainable support from international donors or international agencies, organizations who want financial inclusion to be part of a bigger global, curriculum?
Sir, if you ask me, ideally I will say no. If poverty is the issue in Pakistan, it is the issue of Pakistanis. Why should we beg? Why should we, compromise our self-respect? So principally we say that 50% of Pakistan is responsible to support 50% of Pakistan.
Fair enough.
Haves and have-nots.
Haves and have-nots. We need to close the gap.
So, we prefer not to take money from any international agency.
You do get offers.
But we do. But, we get on our terms. Because most of the international institutions think in terms of economic sustainability. They think that interest-free cannot be sustainable program. So they want us to take money, the operational cost from our borrowers, the financial cost from our borrowers. So we say no.
Okay.
This is against our principles. The same thing was asked by me from a professor in Oxford, that your program is not sustainable. If tomorrow people stop giving you, then what will you do?
Where would you?
So I told him that don't measure us on economic principles. Where economic ends, from there Mawakhat begins. We're absolutely different program. We believe in giving. Economics believes in market share, my share, growth, more money. But akhuwat believes in giving, in supporting your brother, in sharing, in compassion, in equity.
Fair enough.
So this is all, this is the way of empathy, that if I am rich, I should think that my brother who is not rich, what does he feel?
True spirit of Islam also.
That's not only Islam, every religion and humanity.
Yeah.
Even if somebody doesn't believe in God, he believes in humanity.
Absolutely.
He believes in giving.
Absolutely.
So we are not worried of sustainability. This is inclusion, of course. Political inclusion, financial inclusion, social. We want to create an inclusive world.
Fair enough.
If in an inclusive world there is no financial inclusion, so
it's not going to work out like that. So Dr. Saqib, tell me two more things. So this is an interest-free loan. How do you cater to the time value of money concept? Like 100 rupees today will not be 100 rupees after 1 year. It will probably be 90 rupees. So how do you cover that gap now that you're not charging any interest or any profit or anything? Number one. And secondly, what is your administrative cost? Because I'm sure running such a big operation, you have people, you have auditors, you have managers, you have people who go and verify.
It's very simple. If you give me 100 rupees,
yes,
what will I do? I will take 90 rupees and put it in
investment
credit pool.
Credit pool,
not investment.
Yeah.
The loan pool, which I will give the loan.
Yeah.
And 10 rupees I will put in operational pool to meet my operational expense.
Okay.
After 1 year, what will happen? That 90 rupees will
come back.
And then again, I will take 10 rupees for operational pool and 80 rupees will remain there in the credit pool.
Yeah.
Third year.
Same. 80 rupees will come back and 10.
Now your question becomes very valid, that after 10 years, this 100 rupees will become zero.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen because you are giving me 100 rupees every year. This is
I am donating 100 rupees every year.
Because your desire to give will never be.
It will never diminish.
Never end.
And when I see something is going successful, I'll probably
And if you don't give, somebody else will come in your shoes. So if you continue to give, we continue to do good job, the borrower continues to do good job, you have faith in the society, in the institution. So after 10 years, it will not become zero, it will become 1,000.
Absolutely. So that is the secret.
That is the real secret, or charisma. That because I told you the two assumptions. People who want to give, there are plenty of people like you. People who are trustworthy, there are plenty of people. Our 55 lakh, 5.5 million borrowers giving us back. So this money will be increasing every day. It will not. What evidence would you ask from me? I'm telling you that we started it with the first loan of 10,000 rupees, and now we have 200 billion, $100 to 1,000 million US dollars.
I think Pakistan is probably one of the top
Second
countries.
Critical thing is transparency, accountability, and
that
practices within the institution.
Yeah.
And third critical thing is people who get this money, they are willing to give back. And you will be amazed to know another thing, that when we give loan to these people, the poor people, we tell them that look, today you are a taker of money, tomorrow you will be giver.
Giver of money.
You will give the same kind of loan to somebody else. So he starts donating to us, he starts giving part of his profit back into
income.
the credit pool.
Chain reaction.
Yeah. So last year we gathered 3 million US dollars.
Wow.
Donation from these poor people.
From these people whom you've been extending loans to.
Yes.
What a successful model.
This is the virtuous cycle I was just mentioning.
Fair enough.
That if you do good with me, I will do good with somebody else. He will do some with somebody else, and then it will come back to you.
Fair enough.
So to break the vicious cycle, we need to create a virtuous cycle. And akhuwat is nothing but a virtuous cycle.
Fair enough, fair enough. What an amazing concept. And I think Pakistan is probably amongst the top few countries who give the maximum charity. You know, we have philanthropists here, right, left, and center, and with people like, of course, Abdustar, Eidi, Ramzan Chipa Sahab, Dr. Amjad Saqib, so many others who are contributing to the society. I need to take a small break, but Dr. Sahab, I need to come back to you, and I want to ask you, how did it all start? What made you come into this? We all think of doing this, but we think it's too difficult to do. What made you? What was the inspiration? We'll ask you about that. We'll take a short break. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers. Dr. Sahab, MBBS from King Edward Medical College, which is a dream for any medical student. KE, I've heard so much about. Then CSS, passing CSS, another dream of every Pakistani. Having a successful bureaucratic career, being at the top of things, and then giving it all up and starting akhuwat, giving loans to, to develop the society, and then this education. What was the inspiration? What made you change your way?
You know, the basic question is, when you will go in front of your Creator, He will ask you that I gave you wisdom, parents, money, education, this beautiful universe, friends, so many things. What have you brought back for me?
Now that you're back.
Now you're back. Tell me. I gave you so many things. I didn't give so many things to the rest of the people. So this is the basic question which every human being should begin his life with. Every human being should start think. This is contemplation. This is, looking inward. This is, if you truly believe in God, then this question must, you must ask this question from yourself every day, every moment. That what do I have which I would like to present to my God? Number one. Number two, one should do in his life what he can do the best, or what does he like to do, or what is good for others. These are three things. You should do anything, only those things. If you want to become a painter and you become a banker, you are wasting your life. So one should do whatever
you want to do.
You want to do and he is good at. Number
Skill
one,
set.
skill. Number two, obviously, which is good for others.
Contributing to the society.
And which you can do the best way. So if you start thinking on these terms, I became doctor because my father wanted me to become a doctor.
You didn't want to become a doctor?
I didn't want.
Okay.
And once I completed the degree, I mustered the courage to go to him and said that you asked me to become a doctor.
I've done it.
I have done it, but I think I can't go high in this mission, in this profession, because this is not what I want to do.
Okay.
He said, okay. Then I appeared in CSS.
Yeah.
I got a good position. I was selected for district management group. I worked here and there. Then one fine morning, I realized that this is not the best thing I can do. I should do something else.
Were you enjoying your job?
I was satisfied with my job, enjoying, not true enjoyment, because being a subservient to rules and regulations, that I didn't like. I want to do something out of box.
You wanted to create a parallel universe, a new world.
A new world. Some creativity, some innovation, some out of box solutions. So I said that yes, it's I have a great nuisance and I have a great social capital. I have everything one can expect, but this is not what I am happy with. So, you will be amazed to know, the day my CSS result was announced and I was number 1 in the Punjab of province of the Punjab.
MashaAllah.
So, I was extremely excited, too happy. And after 17 years, when I submitted my resignation, the same excitement I felt once more.
At the time of resigning.
At the time of you know, these are absolutely two different things.
Yes, two different
Situations. But I was so excited that I'm going to do something else, something which I like. Because at that point of time, we had started akhuwat in parallel.
Okay, while you were in service, you started akhuwat.
Started akhuwat.
Okay. And it was started by a group of friends or what?
Yeah, I shared this idea with friends and we started doing this. And 2 years it ran parallel. But after 2 years, I realized that you know,
It's a
you
full-time.
can't swim in both, you know, you can't put your feet in both boats. So then we started that. I, you know, analyzed my capabilities. I tried to, you know, see that where I would be more happy, more successful, more comfortable. So I came to this conclusion that this is the you know area where I can do the best and I will be happy. And
But
these two questions one should ask to whenever somebody chooses a profession.
yeah.
That is this where he will be happy? Is this which he will do the best? And is this which is useful for others? These three questions.
These three questions one should ask. But Dr. Saqib, that is fine. Theoretically, it makes sense, and obviously, you know, like what you're saying is absolutely correct. But still, worldly wise, giving up a very successful career when you have all the freedom, when you have all the you know, facilities of the worldly facilities, it's a very difficult thing. It's a brave step, you know, stepping out into an unknown terrain.
Absolutely.
While being in comfort. So, was there any instigating or
You know,
inspiring
your
factor?
question is very relevant. This is very important. But tell me one thing, why Nelson Mandela spent 28 years in jail?
A philosophy, the
Something.
thought, yes. Yeah.
And hundreds and thousands of people give sacrificed their lives for an idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's
So
different kind of
there
thing.
is an inspiration, there is a motivation.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
inspiration was, this first inspiration was, what will be my answer before my God?
Yeah.
You will ask me that, you know, where is the financial security?
Yeah.
Were you not worried about
Yeah.
financial security?
Your family.
But I firm believe that my risk
Yeah.
is predetermined.
As a Muslim, that's
As
a
a
belief.
Muslim.
That's a belief.
I will get it.
Yeah.
And another famous, that is a hadith, if I correctly remember, which says that whosoever starts doing for others, God starts doing for him.
Yes.
So, अगर आप खुदा के बंदों के लिए कुछ कर रहे हैं तो खुदा आपके लिए करना शुरू कर देगा.
That's it.
So this is the question of faith as well. Every big thing, I can't claim that I'm doing a very big thing. I'm just an ordinary, humble human being.
You are doing a great thing.
But the
Doctor.
point is, every good thing or every great thing, it begins with a conviction.
And yeah, you have to be convinced yourself.
You have to be convinced yourself.
Only then you can
Only
overcome all the other. So, Dr. Saqib, you were awarded Sitara Imtiaz, you are a recipient of Sitara Imtiaz, which is the highest awards that the government of Pakistan gives. And then this year in 2022, you were nominated for a Nobel Peace Award also, which is, I don't know how to put it, it's an amazing, amazing honor. So tell me, how does it feel? Do you feel elated when you get these awards? Does it add to your motivation, inspiration? How do
It
you feel?
certainly adds to motivation, certainly adds to inspiration, but it makes me more humble. It makes me believe that God is happy with me. What else one wants?
Wow, wow,
That's it.
awesome. So Dr. Amjad's philosophy, I think if whoever is watching, it's for all Pakistanis and all over the world for that matter. I'm sure we are having viewers from all across the world right now. You should think big, you can have any idea, but you should believe in it, and anything and everything is possible, and one must do something to make this society a better place for everyone. Dr. Saab, it was such an amazing experience. Thank you very much. You've been my teacher, my mentor, and it was a long due interview that I wanted to do. I'm really grateful to you.
Thank you
Keep
very
on doing
much,
this
sir.
good things, and we are all with you, and we would love to support you, and anything that makes Pakistan a better place, a progressive society, one of the leading countries in the world. We are all for it. Thank you very much.
I'm sure because of you, many hundreds and thousands of people will do something which will make this world a better place to live in.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. It is so heartening to know that this is a university where you get education totally free of cost. Even the uniforms, the hostel, the classes, everything is free, and the admission is totally based on merit. It's an open merit, and you could be from anywhere in Pakistan, any province, any area. But if you are brilliant, if you have that zeal to succeed, that zeal to get educated, this is the place for you. Hats off to Dr. Amjad Saqib for coming up with this concept. He did the microfinance successfully, and now he's doing this education university, in a very successful way. So this was today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next episode with another interesting personality. Till then, Allah Hafiz.